Good evening, cyber friends. This old Mitty Man again, coming at you again from Walker Studio back here in Studio B, where I do spend most of my time back here. Right, this here keyboard back here. Um, we want to say that we give God all the praise and glory. We thank Him for as well as it is, life, health, and strength. Thank you for each one of you out there, my cyber friends out there. I do these videos to keep you informed, up to date on some of the things, and try to let y'all know what I'm up to next, or what I have been up to. Matter of fact, I had to play a funeral this morning at the Pleasant Grove Missionary Baptist Church in Shelby, Georgia, where the pastors are Reverend Roosevelt Zambers. And I didn't know the female that they were eulogizing today. I did not know her personally, even though all I know is that she was a graduate of my old school that I graduated from, the Henderson High School. Even though when she graduated, I think it was class of '69. I met a lot of the class of '69 over there, and I know quite a few of the class of '69 myself, but I didn't know her. In actuality, I didn't know her, but I do know a lot of the other members of the class of '69 that were from my hometown, Cuffley. And I was just, like I said, I was asked to play for this here funeral, and so uh, some atmospheric music just to set the tone of the atmosphere right before the funeral service began. Trying to keep the atmosphere right, just playing different soft little melodies and whatnot as I could remember, and talking to different ones as they came in that knew me and everything. I saw some of my old classmates and from school and everything, some of the people that I worked with and back in the day when I was going to Andrew College. But at any rate, as I was sitting there, matter of fact, the way that Pleasant Grove have their keyboard oriented in the churches is sitting below the pulpit if you're looking out to the congregation, is on the right side, but the keyboard is facing the long way, facing the sister corner, over in the sister corner, the amen corner motherboard, and therefore that made me be facing the body. In other words, the body was lying in front of me, and with the head of the coffin was toward me, and I was facing the coffin, looking toward the sister corner. But I was just sitting there, and it's amazing how your mind can just. God, that's what I tell people. If you don't believe in God, something wrong with you. Something wrong with you, because it's amazing how God made us so unique that your mind can catapult 40 and 50 years backward, and you can see it just like it yesterday, and nothing can do that. I mean, out of all the fancy computers that we have in this world, there's no computer as powerful as your mind, as your brain. And I was sitting there, and my mind went back 50 years, just about it, 50 years, because I can remember the class of '69, and it's supposed to be their 50-year celebration of their class reunion, and I can remember it. For me and my partner, his name was Robert Mitchell. His name is Robert Mitchell. Robert is still with us. He's in New Jersey right now. Me and him was tight buddies. And we used to go to all the events, and I remember going to the class of '69 when they used to have their pageants there, right there in Henderson. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if me and Robert, we was like third grade, we was hitting close to third grade at that time, I believe it was. But at any rate, I remember the class. I remember them very well. But nevertheless, I don't remember this individual, her name was, I think it said Patricia Holly, but I don't remember her. But I do know some of the class of '69. But at any rate, what I was saying is my mind catapulted back 50 years in a moment's time. And I got to thinking about that thing, the Reverend Sanders, he did not officiate the funeral, but he was there. Because like I said, this is his church, Pleasant Grove Missionary Baptist Church. His church, he's pastor that church and all. But they had the guy that was from the church that this young lady was from. Her home church at that particular time, they was having the funeral services over at this here location, and he was the one. I think his name was Chris Williams, maybe. I think I got it right. But matter of fact, him and his wife were there, and they was the one that was officiating the funeral. But the guy said some stuff, and as I was sitting there, no one knows what I was thinking but me and God. And my mind was turning over, flipping like a 100 miles an hour. I was thinking about some of the things that were being said over the young lady and some of the things the pastor was saying. And what was going on in my mind, I was saying, in my mind, I was saying yes, but one thing about it, she is not here. She left here a week ago. We often say, we look at the coffin or some people call it a casket, and we point at the body and say sleep on, and all that is good in this place. We understand what the person is saying, but in my mind, in my reality, what I do know for a fact, they are not there. They are not there. That's just a house that they used to live in. That's what that is. Just like this body you see me right now, Minnie Man sitting here tonight. It's a fact that Minnie Man sitting here tonight, but that may not be a fact tomorrow night. You understand what I'm saying? See, I could be done departed this here body, and once I depart this body, it ain't nothing but a shell. It's gonna go back to dust where it come from. But one day, my spirit will be reunited with a brand new body. All of us that got that blessed hope in Christ. But that's not what so much I was thinking about sitting there in that funeral that day. When this pastor, I think his name was Chris, he spoke something about this lady, and he said that in the beginning they were heard, I believe it was somebody that she was related to, maybe her sister or whatever, I'm not for certain now, but he said that they were very, very shy from the beginning, and you couldn't get nothing out of them in the beginning. That was in the beginning. But all of a sudden, then, when something happened, she changed, and she wanted to become a part. And say she came to him and asked him, Pastor, what do you want me to do? Whatever it is you want me to do, I'll do it. And said she liked to do the announcements. I remember him saying that she loved to do the welcomes and stuff like that, and greet the people. Well, I got to thinking about that, and that kind of impressed me. That really impressed me about the lady, even though I ain't know nothing about her. But that impressed me because she wasn't stuck up in titles. She just wanted to help. She just wanted to do something. That if we could solve the problem of the church, if we could get 65% of the people to get an attitude like that young lady that we eulogize today. If we could get people in our church, and not only in the church, that period, that want to just do something and be part of something other than just to have a title. See, we don't want to do nothing unless our name is up in the lights. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with getting your recognition. I feel that anything, if a person do well, then I feel that you ought to recognize them every now and then. But you ought not, everybody ought not to have to pat Minnie Man on his back for everything he do. I mean, if you want to be a helper, it's better to be a helper than to have, people call me many things, okay. As of 2017, May 28, 2017, I was ordained as a deacon at my home church by my pastor, Pastor Donald D. Green Sr. That was as of May 28, 2017. But before that, I was minister of music in various churches. I've always been full time ever since I really came back into this area, or my home area. I've been a minister of music in various churches, full time just about. But some will call me the musician, some will call me the pianist, some call me the minister of music, all of the above. But it doesn't matter. No matter which one they call me, I know who I am. I already know. If they call me the pianist, I know I'm the I am a pianist. You understand what I'm saying? So people, we get caught up. Some people don't want to do nothing unless they got to have their name put in lights. They want to be big. They don't want to be like the young lady today that they utilize today. In other words, her pastor said all she wanted to do today wanted to do something to be a help. We don't want to do that. That ain't got no glamour in it. Some of us we want glamour, and we want our name up in lights, and we want to be called big time. But you ain't did nothing to be big time. I mean, come on, people, come on, be for real. But at any rate, I was sitting there, and I was thinking about that. I said, only thing that's gonna matter out of all the stuff that we do is them little foxes that spoil the vine. In other words, when I have lived in this, like I say, I think about in my childhood, growing up, we have friends that we grew up with. Everybody. I believe there's not a person that ever lived and didn't have some sort of childhood friend. Even though when people, sometime when they get older, they grow apart, life happens. People's life happens. In other words, I won't say what Johnny Guitar Watson said a few years ago, but you that know who I'm talking about, you know, you from the old school, you know what I'm talking about. But at any rate, when I know I got buddies, I got good friends that are going on. I got a good buddy that went on before me, been gone for over 40 years. Been gone for over 40 years. I believe this will be the 41st year right here. Was a good friend of mine, good buddy, like a brother, more like a brother. And I still have good friends with me right now as brothers. Like I told you about my buddies, brother Floyd Cardero Johnson, I got Deacon Lewis Shingles and stuff, people like that, Carnell, and I got quite a few. I can just keep on naming, but I don't want to leave anybody out, but you know who you are. I look at those and I look back on my childhood and I can see at that particular point, place, and time, like my buddy, I got a buddy that I've been knowing me just about as long as my buddy June Pitts and brother Michael Gilbert. Me and him been friends many years, over 40-something years as well. We all grew up doing things, and we had stuff in common. And what me and Michael had in common, we both loved music. Michael was a great percussionist in the high school. He was the leader of the drum line. He was also a great piano player as well. And me and him both loved the Doobie Brothers. In other words, Michael is the one that really turned me on to the Doobie Brothers and Michael McDonald. But what I'm saying is, you be sitting there and those things be going through your mind. Because see, I'm like this here. One day, if Jesus decide to delay his coming, if Jesus decide to keep delaying his coming, one day, that's going to be my body stretched out up there. And like I said, that's going to be my body. That won't be Ernest. Don't worry. Don't be crying. Because that ain't none of me up there that's going to be stretched out in front of that church, y'all. Don't worry about Mitty Man. Mitty Man is going on waiting on y'all. Just be for certain. Don't worry about that. But what I'm saying is, to my brothers and my sisters, it is no time for all this here nonsense. When you have, Bobby Blue Bland made a song years ago. I forget the title of it. But a line from that song that he sang, a blues song, a line from it he said, I ain't doing no more than you. In other words, what he was speaking of on that part, in case y'all, some of you that need me to extrapolate on that a little bit, what he was saying is these are people that got this mentality that think that everybody got to be cheating. Well, look here, sisters and my brother. Everybody ain't like you and me. Just because you may do something, don't put everybody in that category. Because everybody ain't doing that. Everybody, now you say, well, everybody human. Yes, everybody is human, but everybody got different weaknesses and different strengths. Just because see, in other words, my great-grandmama once told me, many times she told me this, but I remember very distinctly said that you cannot accuse somebody of something that you may not be guilty of yourself. You just can't keep on thinking somebody is just like a rogue. A person that's a rogue and a stealer and a move something with their hand real quick, they think that everybody else steals. Have you noticed that? When you have gotten friends that have been friends 40 and some odd years and stuff, and when they cannot even get in a church setting and kind of speak to each other, regardless of whether you're male or female, it ain't got no, it don't matter. It don't matter because see, I know when I was in college, people, most of my closest friends, the ones that I had when I was going to college, it was female. It wasn't male, and a lot of the females that told me that they mostly had mostly male friends and not female. But at any rate, it is bad and sad that when you cannot sit in the church or meet somebody in the grocery store, a long-time buddy or a long-time sister or friend or whatnot, and y'all can't exchange salutations and speak to each other without one of y'all saying somebody going with somebody. That is so stupid. I'm just saying it like it is. That is so ludicrous until it ain't funny. Now here's somebody you've been knowing 40, 50 years before I met you. Come on with it now. In other words, but now you can't even give them a salutation unless somebody going with somebody. People, we better stop that mess. I'm telling you, remember I told y'all when I was in the hospital last year? I wasn't joking. And I told y'all I had something else I want to tell y'all. Y'all better get off that mess. Let me tell you why. You're never going to get that time back. All this time we lose with this nonsense. In other words, like the preacher said today about the young lady she just said she didn't want the help. You better go ahead on and get your butt up and do something now while you got the opportunity. Instead of sitting around trying to make fun and talk about everybody else who's trying to do something and trying to find fault with whatever they trying to do, whatever, however little or a lot. At least they are trying to do and make a difference. You're not going to get that chance anymore. And then when you stand before your maker, we all got to stand before our maker and give an account for what we have done with the life he gave us. Now, I know a lot of y'all don't believe that, but I can't help what you don't believe. I'm telling you what I know. You are going to stand, and you're going to have to give an account for whatever you've done in this body. Now, I didn't say you going to hell, did I? No, didn't say that. But you're going to give an account for what you've done with what God gave you. If you don't do nothing with it, you just wasting air on the earth. Maybe somebody else, you wasting air that somebody else could be breathing in order to complete the mission that God has gave them. Because you ain't doing nothing. So you might as well just move on out of the way. And you believe it or not, people, those are the sort of things that was going through my mind today as I sat there not knowing this here lady or didn't know her at all. But what was said, I can identify with what this preacher said, as well as some of the people that got up and said certain things over this lady. And it just made me reflect. Because I know one day, if Jesus delay his coming, people, we all going to do just what this lady did. We all going to have to do that. If Jesus delay his coming, you hear me, decommitted man. I'm going to call myself decommitted man tonight. If you are not careful, you're going to end up being just another hole in the ground, because we're not making a difference with nothing and nobody. In other words, we just want to stay capsulated in our own little old shell. We don't want to venture out. We don't like nobody. And let me tell you something, you don't like nobody. That says a lot about your personality. When you don't like nobody, come on now, come on people, come on. I understand that everybody is not lovable. I know that. But we wasn't lovable either. But Jesus yet and still died on that cross for every one of us. And none of us were lovely at all. But Jesus still died. There ought to be at least one person somewhere that you ought to be able to give a good word to or for or about. And there ought to be something, like I said, that you ought to want to leave behind in this world. I don't know about y'all, but Mitty man, when I go, I want to leave something behind more than just a tombstone that read, "Here lies Mitty man" or Ernest J. Walker back in the hole again. I don't want that. I want to leave something that somebody can continue living on and maybe pull inspiration from. Now, when you ain't got nothing, and believe you me, there are some people that just ain't got nothing in common with you. That's understandable. Some people ain't got nothing in common with you. But there ought to be something that you want to do to make a difference. And stop sitting around trying to find fault with others that are trying or stepping out trying to do whatever they trying to do. I mean, if this person is trying to play the keyboard, they may not have played the keyboard as well as you, but they don't have to play it as well as you. And I don't call myself no great keyboard player, but they don't have to play it like me. But the only thing all they have to do is just play it. If God gave you a gift and a talent, you ought to use it. And stop sitting around. If you ain't doing nothing, well, let the other people that trying to do something do it. And you just get on out the way. That's what we ought to do. That just made a man take on that. And I was sitting there today, and I was just thinking about that. And as I sat there at that funeral, and nobody knew nothing what I was thinking but me and God. But those are the things I was thinking. And like I said, thinking back on childhood days of coming up. And like I said, my buddy Michael Gilbert and a few others, like I said, my buddy June Pitts, his name was Walter Pitts Jr. He been long gone 41 years now. And but nevertheless, he just as fresh in my mind today as he was back then. And but nevertheless, you see, I think back, and that's how come right now I try my best. I try my best to be at peace with everybody. Mind you, everybody may not be at peace with me. I can't help that. But I'm going to be at peace with them. In other words, I can't help if you don't like me. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But I ain't got nothing against you. I ain't got nothing against you because, number one, Mitty man is too busy trying to get his own thing done here. I got too much to do to sit around and be worried about somebody else and who I don't like. Sitting around talking about who I don't like. I told y'all, when I was laying in the hospital, the Holy Spirit convicted me of that there, came to me and asked me who I was mad at. I wasn't mad at nobody then, and I ain't mad at nobody now. Y'all better get a grip about this thing. You ain't going to have a second chance. You think, people, you better get it right now. You're wasting precious time. You're wasting precious time. I done wasted enough of mine. I'm 57 years old. I done wasted enough of my time. I feel I got more years behind me now than I got in front of me. But nevertheless, I still don't talk negative about that because I feel I'll live another 57 years. And matter of fact, Moses lived to be 120. Abraham lived longer than that. So I feel at least I ought to be able to live 120. I ain't got to just lay down and die. I don't have to do that. The word tells me that. I can at least go 120. Nevertheless, I got to take care of myself in order to do that. Up until last year, I never really had no major sickness illness at all, people, in 50-some years, up until this last year. That's when it hit me. But let me tell you something. If you want to live a long life, and like I said, I want to go to 120 more if I can, if Jesus' delay is coming. But I don't want to be here decrepit. I don't want to be here in bad health and can't do nothing for myself laying around for no 120 years. No. God take me on home if I got. But see what? I'm even in control of that. If you get your butt up and eat right, exercise, your body will last longer. Your body can't. You see, y'all see these joints? See that? The elbow, the wrist. You see all that? It's made for movement. Movement. Your body, God made your body to move. So if you get up and move it, and you give it the proper rest and diet, it'll last you longer. And you can go 120 years without aches and pains too. The reason why we got the aches and pains, I have them too. It's because the way we done ourselves. When we was out there young and we thought we was invincible, out there without a hat on, without jackets on, and we thought we were cute, wearing them short dresses and the short pants and all up in your butt. Yes, I said it, I meant it, and I meant it because y'all know I'm telling the truth. And then we guys didn't want to wear no shirt, got these old tank tops and all these muscle shirts. We were muscling. Now we suffering with arthritis. I'm just telling you like it is. All that time you can't get back. I'm just telling y'all like it is. You can't get that time back. Once it's gone, it's gone. But guess what? If you are still yet living and breathing, you have a chance to get it right where we done been wrong. Start eating right. Start exercising. Do something. Just make your body move. You just can't sit down all day long and expect the body to last. Can't do that. Your body got joints made to move. People, I thank God for that. I mean, and this is not the first time I've ever thought about this when I was at a funeral, because I've been to many of them. And I had to play at many of them, and that thought has always came across my mind. But I'm just thinking about, like I say, back when you think about your childhood and you see what was in your past. See, people always try you don't live in the past. No, you don't live in the past, but you look at the past to keep from making the same mistakes in the future. You see, there are some things that I've done in my past that I don't think I would ever do again, because I can look back and see the consequences that came to me from that decision I made. So yeah, thank God for the past. But then something we got in our past, we want to leave there. We want to leave there. But a good friend is hard to find. Let me tell y'all that again. A good friend is hard to find. And everybody is not your friend. I tell people, everybody not my friend, and I know it. I got a lot of people that I know. I have a lot of associates. But I have very few friends. And you do too. You know, everybody caught there with, that's my friend. No. That's not your friend. That's not your friend. There is a friend, the Bible say, that's sticking closer than a brother. There is a friend. That letting us know that we ain't got many people. But nevertheless, you should treat every brother and sister as one, as a friend. Regardless of what, you should treat them as one. If they let you. The Bible tells us, the Apostle Paul, I believe, said this here, as much as it lies within you, try to live at peace with all people, especially those of the household of faith. In other words, we Christians, we ought to be at least able to get along with each other. At least. But Jesus said you must love your enemies and pray for them. Jesus raised the bar so high. Jesus raised that bar really high. But now we got some people don't believe in Jesus. Well, I can't make nobody believe in anything. The only thing I can say is, I believe, and that's enough. That's enough for me. Because see, I got to stand before the judge myself and give an account for my own life. I can't stand for you. God is not going to judge me for nothing that you do. But he's going to judge me for everything that I do. And you can go to the bank on that. That being said, this middle man was saying whatever you get into, if God ain't in it, please, man, please, sir, get out of it, because it's going to come to nothing. And remember, don't throw away your childhood friend because of ignorance. Never do that. Never do that. I don't care what go on. Never throw away your childhood friends that are still stuck with you some 40, 50, 60 years, and they yet trying to stick with you in spite of all the nonsense that we have to go through with trying to be close to people that we've known all our life. And you shouldn't have to be that way, but most of the time, sometimes when you get yourself mixed up with different attitude and different personality of people, those are some of the things that we succumb to. But we must, like we used to say in the military, suck it up, drive on. This is Mitty Man. To the next video Bible study, whichever comes first. Peace and good night.